dogs often have a tendency to start pulling when they're on the leash and trying to drag you wherever they want to go, or being stubborn. And I'd like to discuss a few things that I've found to be very helpful in teaching your dog to walk with a loose leash. This is Sampson. He was 10 weeks old when I picked him up approximately, and he's about 16 weeks old now, so I've been working with him for about 6 weeks. We've only been doing walks for the last 4 weeks or so that have any significant time to them, because when they're that young they still don't have the energy to really go for much of a walk. Sampson loves the outdoors. He has a brother that has been very stubborn with walking well with the leash, and this technique I've found even helpful to him, and he's coming along quite well. Sampson, you can see, is a great walker. As soon as he feels a little bit of tension on the leash, he immediately loosens up. One thing I found when walking is to set the pace for your dog and not let the dog set the pace for you. Initially, this might mean you're, tugging on him all the time. And you don't want to hurt the dog. Be sure you don't tug to where you hurt him. If he's being that stubborn, you're going to have to still be stubborn back, but not be pulling to where you're going to hurt him. Eventually he'll give in. You just got to wait him out. And then when you're walking, Sampson's brother Attila, he likes to try to bolt to the end of the leash and it'll snag him. And what you do in that instance, if they start to tug, and I'll have Attila out a little bit later and I'll add him into this video to give you an example of what I do. When they start to tug, you're not going to let them pull you, and I usually judge a tug by letting my arm that's holding the leash hang loose, and if they pull it enough to where my arm goes taut, then I address them by name. And I'll do this for Sampson. I'll say, Sampson, come. And then I'll wait for him to come. And once he gets next to me, I'll say, sit. And you can see he's sitting. I'll say, good boy. And then let's go. And then we can keep walking. Now, when I have Attila, you'll probably see that he's going to charge the end of the leash, or he might just pull pretty hard. And I'm going to have to say, Attila, come. And he's not going to want to listen. The best way I found to get them to still come back in your direction is by simply turning your body opposite to them and just putting your back to them. And eventually they're going to see the way you're going, and they're going to want to come the way you are. And as you can see, Sampson's already come in front of me. And then once I get Attila in front of me, I'll tell him, I'm here for Sampson. Sampson, sit. Good boy. And then let's go. And we'll keep walking. This is a continuation, basically, of the sit, stay, come command. When you first start out, your walks are going to be very short in distance, but probably still a significant amount of time. And by significant, you don't have to make them half-hour walks. You can do a 15-minute walk, and doing this a couple days in a row will do wonders. And this dog is wonderful on the leash. He's smelling something. He doesn't want to come, but he knows that I'm his leader. And I just give a little tug. He smells some deer droppings here. Sampson, leave it. Good boy. And he stays pretty much right with me and doesn't pull hard at all. Now I will say, when you first begin this, if your puppies are still young, if they're about 10 weeks old, again, their walks need to be very short, 5 minutes at a time or so, maybe 10 if they can do it. And you're just going to focus on getting them to follow your direction, the directions you go. And you're going to do that by, again, always pointing your body the direction you want to go and waiting for them to come to where you're going. And it's amazing, but they do seem to recognize the direction your body's facing. If I turn around right now, Sampson will get the idea that we're going the other way. It might take him a minute, But then he'll notice and recognize that we're no longer going the way that we were going. And eventually he'll figure it out without me even saying anything, and there he is, right back in front. And this starts your puppy at a younger age when he doesn't have the patience or the energy to really focus on walking and listening to the sit, stay, and come command, but at least teaches him that you're the one dictating where you go, and that he's not going where he wants to go without your permission. And this is how to teach your dog how to walk nicely. Sampson, come. Good boy.